stats pulled up. And results of the 4 matches faded to black. That's right, everybody. Welcome to the Power Bombcast. We've assembled 5 extraordinary sports entertainer podcasters. That's me, Janet Show, a host of the Power Bombcast. I can't maintain this cadence of speaking and this pitch because it makes my throat hurt, and I'm on a lot of medicine right now. Co-captain of the wrestling ship, Jeff Grubb.
Why is the music in WWE so bad now?
Oh, it's all bad.
Oh boy, yeah,
it's bad.
That's one of the biggest takeaways from the pay-per-view, honestly.
It really does put it in stark relief.
Yep. Speaking about relief, we've got the person always ready to receive the hot tag, Dan Reichert.
Yada mean.
All right. Could we get one
do
more
it right?
take of that? From
You didn't do
Nikki
it wrong.
Grayson?
Yada mean.
Yara mean. You gotta like roll the.
Yada mean.
Yeah, there's some rolling in there. Hey,
And we have our own video game werewolf. The Ohio werewolf. What is he?
Italian
werewolf
werewolf.
is what
Italian
it is.
werewolf.
Yep.
We have our own Italian werewolf, Mike Minotti.
Yeah, when you said speaking of relief, I thought you were going to bring up me in the Rainforest Cafe, actually. So I was quite relieved.
What
I don't
do you
have
do at the
that button
Rainforest
ready yet.
Cafe?
Yeah, what do you do there?
What? Nothing. I drink delicious, vaguely tiki-esque drinks and
Sounds
watch
perverted.
animatronic gorillas.
For those that don't listen to the other shows, just to fill you in, Mike masturbated in a Rainforest Cafe
That is
once.
not what happened.
He whacked it.
Absolutely not.
You gotta go look at the draft there. You'll
I
understand.
swear, we're
His
trying
dad
to
got
get
mad at him.
We're trying to get the Rainforest Cafe creator on the 90s Disney podcast, and if he doesn't
Is this
come
helping?
because he hears that I jerked off in his restaurant, you are all in big
there he
trouble.
gave
Mike,
it to us again. It's
Mike,
the
did you
second
know
clean
that guy
read.
spent $500,000 turning his house into a Rainforest Cafe?
Yeah, we talk about it on our podcast.
Oh, is that where I heard that? Okay, yeah, never mind.
Mike Minotti.
Well, I bet he
realize-
jerked off in there too. Then it was his house.
Oh, you're definitely going to get him on. Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about it that way.
A lot of weird things probably happened in there.
Mike, we could have skirted past this. I was ready to not talk about you and your lewd activities.
Yeah,
at the
quit bringing it
Rainforest
up all the
Cafe.
time, Mike, because it's
My
you.
bad. My bad. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh, Royal Rumble happened, huh? What about that?
It
That
did.
was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Moves
quick
fast.
question. All right. I misunderstood the assignment, and I had thought that the Royal Rumble was going to be streaming onto Netflix.
No.
For a second, I was like, okay, here's what I remember. They're like, the Netflix deal got announced, and they're like, oh, that affects everyone else all over the world, not us. We still have to go Peacock. And then that first episode appeared on Netflix. I'm like, oh, it must be here as well. But I didn't cancel Peacock, mostly because of Columbo. So when I tried to find it and it wasn't on there, I was like, okay, that must be what it actually was. So Monday Night Raw still on Netflix, even for us. The premium live events are on Peacock just for us in the United States for now.
Correct.
Okay.
They're on Netflix everywhere but here.
Okay. All right. So fair enough. I'll keep 2 subscriptions. I guess I need it for Columbo.
That's
then.
how
Now-
they get you.
What if I were to use a VPN to tell my Netflix I'm somewhere overseas?
I think that
You
would
go to
work.
jail.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I'll be cool then. I'll be cool like Dom, and I'll come out and like just love chicken tenders and everything.
That's true. Get
They have
Netflix
dinosaur-shaped
tier
chicken
tattoo.
tenders at Rainforest Cafe.
Mike, just really deep. I can't do this today, Mike.
I'll rein it in.
Please, we're gonna start the podcast all over again. All right, everyone,
right.
pull up time. That is. All right, the Royal Rumble happened, folks. 2025. Scout, please. Only 4 matches. This premium live event. We started with the Women's Rumble, which I really enjoyed. Old spoilers, folks. The winner, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, with a real weird follow-up promo on Raw. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I think she was trying to be real with the crowd, and the crowd was not receptive of it.
No.
Yeah, she's got a real issue with part of it you can attribute to her booking because it's her being gone for a long time, then coming back and winning everything as she always does and wins the belt a million times. Like it's kind of like fans get tired of that, but also it just kind of seems like she's unlikable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the part of it's the booking and part of it is her. And fans don't want to cheer her, and I don't know if that's ever going to work with her as a babyface. I don't even know if that's what they're trying, but yeah, it's not working.
Yeah. A couple fun stats from this women's Rumble. Roxanne Perez breaking the record for longest time in the Rumble. She came in at number 3, and she lasted an hour and 7 minutes and 47 seconds.
That's crazy.
That lady is small.
Yeah.
There was Liv Morgan's just an hour and 7 minutes. Io Sky an hour 6 minutes 45 seconds. So these 3 people went very very deep into the Rumble. There, that used to be record territory alone for any Rumble.
Additional stats here: Nia Jax most eliminations for a women's Rumble with 9. Did she rack all of those up with that really clumsy? Everyone is on the apron spot.
There was 7, because we were tracking all of the eliminations because that was one of our raffle pools. Was you can win if you get the most eliminations, you can win if you get the winner, and so we had to count how many people were on the apron there, and it was I think 7 at one time there that you kind of threw everyone over. So,
do people like Nia Jax now or no?
She's improved. She's improved a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not injuring people on the regularity that she was doing back then.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't, as far as I know. Well, I don't know. Maybe she is tweeting a bunch. I don't know, but she was doing herself no favors for quite a while, especially right after she got released. But as far as I know, things are. She's been improving quite a bit.
Yeah, she's just not the problem that she was when everyone really disliked her. It seems like I'm watching. I'm like, okay, she's got something happening now. It's not my favorite wrestler sort of thing, but when she showed up again, whenever I see her, I'm like, okay, I get it at the very least. Okay. Can I ask a logistics question?
Yes.
As someone who was kind of half watching this while most of my family was sick and I was dealing with everything. The Royal Rumble, you win it, you point out the WrestleMania sign.
Correct.
And then you go fight the champion. Now, there are multiple champions, right?
Choose.
And that you choose. Doesn't that feel like it makes it less exciting, less important?
Yeah, because I mean, back in the day, throughout the 90s and everything, when it wasn't a split roster, it was just you win the Rumble and you are in the main event, as in the last match at WrestleMania against the champion. Now, ever since they split the rosters, they introduced new titles and things like that. It's oh, okay, well, Edge won the Rumble, but he's going to face Alberto Del Rio for the secondary title in the first match on the card. It's I do. Logistically, it makes sense why they do it this way, and it does open things up to
more
making it less predictable.
Sure.
But then it can also kind of have that oh, okay, I guess we're doing this, and now it's a 2-night thing, and it might not be either main event. When I say main event, I say the last match of the night, which they're very fond of being there's 4 main events at this WrestleMania. It's no. There's
not what a
one,
main event
maybe
means.
2. Yeah,
It's not what a main event is. Main event's usually the last match.
I'm maybe even strict with that, where it's it's a 2-night thing now, and so they'll say oh, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main event at WrestleMania, and I'm nah, Cody and Roman did there. Conan and Rhodey. I just
Conan main evented WrestleMania. That's awesome.
Conan O'Brien versus Rudy from the football team.
Oh yeah.
Speaking about logistics, how did y'all feel about the bar, the infographic bar that was present?
Fucking
the whole
terrible.
Rumble?
Okay,
I liked it.
gang.
I liked
it. No,
I did.
no.
I'm sorry, I did.
Conceptually, it's fine. Here's the thing about a ticker. A ticker needs to be information that is actually important. What I don't need to know is how many people who have already been eliminated. I can look in the ring and kind of guess how many guys are in there. I don't need to know all the time. There was a button, like a clickable button on the bottom right for WWE 2K25 that is obviously not interactable. It's a television. There's no way for me to press this.
Did you try?
Yeah.
I did not walk up to the TV and press the
Technology's
big
moving
pre-order
fast.
button. There was a huge button on the screen, and it on the bottom right that was it cycled between WWE 2K25 and pre-order now. But half of the time it felt like it was on the pre-order now button, so that was wasted space. It didn't have a clock, which is the one thing that I would want, but I understand why there was no clock because
Right.
it's fake 2 minutes.
Yes.
But then so then don't have the fucking ticker. What the easy fix for this is you do it like it's F1 and you don't have a huge ticker on the bottom of the screen. You overlay it on the left side of the screen, and then you have the people who are in the ring, and then you have a clock that is counting up
For
the
each of
whole
them.
time. And then you can, even if you wanted to go completely crazy, you could have, for the person who's been in it the longest, you could have their own timer.
Right.
Sure.
And then
have
at the
that
top,
be
it's
the
like,
only,
stick it
and then have
eliminated.
them, yes. And then you cycle it in that way. The concept of the ticker, great, horribly executed. It
I
was
think I
also
agree
just
with
too
that.
fucking big.
It was
Too
big.
big.
Maybe
It was
now
very
is the
big.
time to re-implement the second screen experience via the WWE app.
Okay, yeah, smart glass, but for
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yes, finally, again.
Yeah, I wish it would have disappeared. I thought like, oh, this is fun. It's gonna go away. Oh, it's here the whole
It's
show. Huh?
still
No,
there.
it's not going. It's
Still there.
I don't think I noticed it was there the whole time.
I was
It
looking
didn't go
directly
away?
at it.
That's
For,
a-
no,
that's a
it was there the whole time.
It was
It
there the whole
didn't
time.
fade in and out?
No.
Wow.
Well, it faded. It was not on the non-Rumble matches. So
Yeah.
for
Right, but I
the
didn't
DIY
realize it was
match
there.
and-
Yeah, it was there the
it
whole
was there the
time.
whole time.
Wow, crazy.
All right.
Which
some
is
more,
I don't know, annoying. Good.
What's
some more
crazy about that,
trivia.
Dan? That it was there the whole time that you didn't notice.
Maybe more that I didn't notice. If it was indeed there the whole time, which I have not confirmed yet.
You still don't believe us. Well,
I need to do some research. I need to do some research.
Yeah,
Definitely was.
Some quick fun facts from the Women's Rumble before we give our overall thoughts on it. We had some returns. Jordan Grace is now a WWE wrestler. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was it Nia? No, it was Piper that she did a full
Piper.
Samoan drop, cartwheel
Yeah.
situation. Holy shit.
Insane. Trish Stratus returned. Surprised to see Trish. Charlotte Flair is back. Nikki Bella came in at number 30. Surprised about that. But perhaps maybe the biggest pop of all night, Alexa Bliss coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, with spooky doll gimmick and stuff, which was just one of the worst parts of the pandemic. But hey, people seem to like it. It sells.
I
It
didn't
sells.
like the disease, actually. I thought that was the worst part of the pandemic, personally.
Yeah, when you bring it up, it's between those two.
I'm sorry, Dan.
No, you're right. I do think that the global pandemic was worse than Alexa Bliss's gimmick during it. Yeah, for the
I hope
record.
Barely, yeah, neck and neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope this makes it over to her. But yeah,
Oh,
it was,
can I tell you just quick as a side note?
Please.
I almost the many times I almost died when I was working at WWE. One of them was right before the pandemic. We were in Arizona recording the first 3 episodes of Alexa Bliss's huge hit podcast, of course. And it was her and The Miz, or it might have been Ziggler, talking about video games. And it came up, and I'm just kind of sitting behind the camera, and I'm not, I'm just producer sitting there in a suit. You guys talk, do your thing, and then they start talking about their favorite games, and they said crazy, she was like Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi was my absolute favorite on PlayStation. Crazy Taxi was my favorite PlayStation game, and I'm sitting there like, not the Dreamcast game. And then I think Miz was like, absolutely, oh my god, with the ice cream truck. And then I was like, no,
Oh, yeah.
I think I might have had us cut it out before it went to air.
That would kill me. That
I
would kill
didn't
me.
interrupt at all. Yeah.
Oh, that would absolutely destroy me.
One of my favorite things throughout the Rumble was, so I have a bunch of people over, we do the raffle, and it's always the one that I invite people over that don't watch wrestling, just because I think that's such a fun way to let me explain 30, 60 gimmicks and real quick. And so Joe Juba, formerly of Game Informer, was here, and he's never watched wrestling. And he got Chelsea Green. And so whenever people that don't watch wrestling, someone comes out, they turn to me like, am I going to win? And I was like, oh, no, you're not going to win. Not with Chelsea. But it was hilarious because she just kept not getting eliminated in hilarious ways.
Yeah.
But then it's just he would get very excited. And then 5 people would just be beating the shit out of Chelsea Green. Like, oh, come on.
There was that spot where Chelsea is in the middle of tall, pretty former WNBA player Naomi, Bianca,
Bianca.
and who was the other person?
Oh, is it BFAB?
Yes, and BFAB, and like Chelsea's like just like being all ditzy in the middle of the ring, and these the most beautiful black women you've ever seen in your life are like, we are going to light this white woman up, we're going to destroy her, and then they lit her up, and it was unbelievably funny. She was in a lot of great. Her face is great. Her facial work is incredible too.
Yes.
You want to hit this woman. Like she seems like like her character seems like she fucking sucks, and she sells it so well.
But she's like a baby face now just because she's so good at that character that people just want to cheer her. Like, we like watching you.
Yes.
Like, she's definitely one of my favorite parts. It's one of those things where it's like, I wonder if next year maybe she'll have a shot, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
What
was it? It was last year where like the whole joke was that she was barely in it, even, right? And look how far we've come from since then. You know, it's a meteoric rise.
Inaugural United States Women's Champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're behind her, obviously. I think they know what they have with her.
I think Piper Niven should be wearing a suit if she's the Secret Service.
I agree. I don't know why she's wearing that kilt still. That doesn't make any sense.
Like,
She's done the suit thing before. She's done the sunglasses and suit, like while she's at ringside.
but I think she needs the earpiece too, and she needs to like wrestle with it.
Yeah,
she's just looking like God, what was it? That was with DX for a bit there, just wearing a suit, not looking like
Rick Rude.
Yes, just look like Rick Rude.
Oh my God, you couldn't risk that Lloyd's of London payout, brother.
No,
keep you wrestling.
First Rumble for a couple performers. Jada Parker's first Rumble. Stephanie Vaquer's first Rumble. Julia's first Rumble, and Lash Legend as well. Do y'all have any like favorites that you wanted to win the Rumble prior to?
I mean, I just knew Charlotte was gonna win, so I didn't even have any space in my mind to like pretend that anything else was going to happen. It felt very unimaginative in my brain.
Right.
For the
like,
Women's Rumble.
Even when Alexa came back with like the big return, I'm like, oh, that's neat. She's not winning.
No.
Of course,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I think I wanted Vaquer and Julia to show up in it and just at least have some spots, and they had that. And so I just want the wider wrestling world to see them because I think they are going to be a very big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted Julia and Io to have like a bigger face-off than they did.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't have like a particular favorite to win the Rumble since they announced that Charlotte was going to be in it like 2-3 weeks prior, right? I'm like, all right, you're going to win this, huh? We're going to this.
And then what do we do going into Mania with her? Like, what is the...
Well, so they established on Raw that her and Rhea have history, right?
Yeah.
They've met at Mania twice now.
Yeah.
And it's 1-1 on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Do we go for the three-peat? Does she go after Tiffany Stratton?
Charlotte versus Tiffany would be an interesting match. I do like, because that Rhea match at 39, or that would have been 40. No, that was 39. Yeah, was just that was the match of the weekend, I think. That was unbelievable. So, for all the complaints about Charlotte, she can fucking go. She is one of the best ever in the ring. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. But also Tiffany, Charlotte was the reason she wanted to get into wrestling early on. So like there's that story you can tell. It's been told a million times, but it's always interesting when it's a true thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who plays face in that interaction?
Tiffany.
Tiffany?
It has to be, right?
Even if they don't book it that way, it will turn that way.
Right.
Yeah.
It literally has to be. Yeah, because no one's gonna root for Flair. So yeah.
Before we move on, any standout moments, spots, performances from the Women's Rumble that y'all recall, want to shout out? I think Liv Morgan has improved so much overall.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That surprises me every time I see that she's like, you've been in every single Women's Rumble? You are a utility-ass player. Good for you.
She's found her character. She has totally found her character. It's awesome.
Yeah. I think that, we talked about the Jordan Grace spot with Piper Niven was probably the standout for me. And then just the reaction for Alexa Bliss coming up. There was that, there was like all this stuff like, oh, she might be done with WWE. And so it was actually genuinely a surprise to see her. Even though, like, I always thought, now that they're really talking about it, they're going to really want her to be at the Rumble and surprise everybody and probably make a snide comment about dirt sheets, which, of course, they love doing, right?
Yes.
Is Jordan going to Raw or SmackDown?
Don't know. I'm not sure, but she is signed for it's a multi-year contract.
For
maybe
$1 billion
5
years.
Yeah, which good. She's going to be a big deal, and there's a lot of matchups that could be
very
obviously
fun.
Her and Rhea could tear the house down.
Dude, that's going to be fucking money.
Yeah.
It's going to go crazy.
Yeah. I wish
Her
I
at SummerSlam, can you imagine? That's a SummerSlam match if I've ever seen one.
Yep. Absolutely.
I feel like you could build like a good first feud for Jordan Grace against Nia Jax, right? Like, oh, who are
Sure.
you? You're like an indie nobody. I've been here, been on top
Yeah.
of the mountain.
Totally.
type of
With
deal.
Jordan as the obvious face. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the
real quick, just what's the temperature on Nikki Bella's return? Yeah, exactly. That's what I would call. I'm like, I was just paying attention, especially at that point, because I had that. It was one in my pool that I was doing with Jason Finelli. Shouts to Jason Finelli. She was one of mine, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, as soon as she got there, I'm like, oh, I remember. I don't never really like the Bellas, and
The thing about Nikki,
you never went
specific-
Brie mode.
never went Brie mode.
Well, the thing about Nikki is she did actually improve near the end of her run there,
Yes.
and she is interesting in that she is very much a bridge between the old diva style and the post women's revolution style. You know, she was there through that process. As much as they like to paint it as the Bellas were the ones who caused this women's revolution, no, it was AJ. But like she was there through it all. She was there through some real shitty years. And then she did very much improve in the ring. So it's like I'm not going to write her off.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see if she's back for a while. I'd be up for seeing where she's at.
This happened during the men's rumble, but I was pleasantly surprised that we didn't have to roll out too many, I guess, older superstars or legends for like a nostalgia pop.
Cheap pop. Yeah. And a part of me is always like, oh, I want that. And then in these rumbles when I didn't really get that, I was like, nah, I didn't miss it. It's fine.
It's like that worked so much better, 10 years ago when the roster was just like aging and the roster was thin, and now it's like the most stacked roster ever. It's like it would just be a bummer for most of the people in the Rumble to get bumped for. I mean, like, you know what? The right situation is like, okay, bump Tozawa, who no one was going to take seriously in the Rumble. If you're going to do a gimmick IShowSpeed spot, which like I think they nailed it with that stuff.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
And moving on to the two matches, actual matches, we had a best 2 out of 3 falls match, or right, 2 out of 3, yeah. Between Motor City Machine Guns and DIY for the tag team championships. Ultimately, DIY running away with it. How'd y'all feel?
Good match.
I thought it was good. My fear with 2 out of 3 falls matches is that they sometimes can feel rushed depending on what is happening before and after them. And I couldn't tell if I liked I still don't know if I liked the cadence of this match or not.
I'm still hopped up on WWE Speed, so this was nice and leisurely for me personally.
But I thought it was fun. Like there were a lot of really good spots. I didn't really know who was going to win, which is the first one coming in. Like it's been a minute where I didn't like. I was like, I feel like either of these folks could walk out of here with this. I thought it was a fun one.
I thought the ending was a bit awkward with the Street Profits kind of interfering. And I always feel weird when they will play the wrestlers that is interfering's music at the end of a spot. I'm like, why are we celebrating?
Congratulating them. Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
The WWE always just has a lot of stuff like that. Like, why is it always the referees that have to come out and break up the fights? Shouldn't there be security guards? And I'm just like, I can't think about this, and then go back to WWE brain.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was completely fine. I don't know what I want from the tag team division at this point, though.
There are a lot of them right now. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of stories that many people care about right now.
Yeah.
We'll see if heel Street Profits like that could be interesting. But yeah,
I just feel like it's not using either of them to their strengths.
Yeah.
As somebody who did watch like a lot of 2008 era TNA, it is kind of fun to see. Wow, the Motor City Machine Guns, huh? Still around and in the WWE now. That's neat.
Moving on to the last real match of the show, we had Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes for I guess 2 belts.
Well, one real one.
One and a half belts.
One and a half belts. Cody Rhodes ultimately retaining his championship. Boy, that ladder spot at the very end.
The one where he
Alabama
got bent,
Slam.
He got bent over. It reminded me of like Homer getting knocked over the fire hydrant. It's like, oh, it's more painful than it looks.
Yeah. That was like,
that was
God,
crazy.
that might be like in the Mount Rushmore of just ladder spots that looked so
brutal.
painful. And then like worked so perfectly, and just the way he absolutely bent like an accordion between the rungs.
He
of
was
the
there
ladder.
for so long. Too.
Oh,
like they're
God.
unmoving.
How
for a
fucking good is
really
Kevin
long
Owens?
time. Really
Great.
fucking good.
He's so good. It almost makes me feel bad that I never believed for a moment he could win this match, but he's so incredible.
I loved explaining that shirt to people who don't watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And once I explained, people were like, "That's very funny." Okay.
Gosh, he's almost so funny that like it should hurt his character as this like dangerous badass, right? And he still gets away with it for the most part.
I love how he's like the one character that seems to have seen wrestling and watches the show and applies logic to characters and stuff. Like he like lives in a different universe. It's great.
He's not in the WWE universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Someone with a functioning brain.
when you put him next to someone like a Cody Rhodes or a John Cena, it's like,
Yeah.
that's a real guy.
That's
That's
a guy.
dude.
Yeah, it's a guy that walked in here.
He has
and
the
now
Eddie
is like,
Kingston
huh?
effect. No,
Put on
Yes,
his basketball shorts and went to work.
yeah, it's the opposite of Eddie Kingston, where Eddie Kingston thinks everything is real.
Yes.
Kevin Owens is like,
He knows it's fake.
yeah. Did we think for a second that Sammy was going to properly interfere in this match?
Tease it enough to make it a possibility.
Yeah.
Does this mean we're headed towards another KO versus Sammy match at Mania?
I think you do, because the one time it happened was under Vince. It was that first kind of like half post-pandemic, half crowd thing. Logan Paul was a huge part of the story of that feud, because I can't remember. I think it was like Logan Paul and Sammy were friends, and Kevin was the face or something, and they gave him like 7 minutes or something. It's like on paper, Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania should be amazing 10 times out of 10, but there were just a lot of elements that made it less than it should have been. So now that we've got a different regime in here, they could do it right, I think.
And I think it's just you could go back to this pretty often, probably for the rest of both of these guys' career. Even at WrestleMania, they are so reliable. People will always want to see them fight.
Yep.
How do we feel about the kind of teasing a heel Cody in the future?
I'm afraid they are now going to take too long to do this.
Yeah,
I think
Is
they'll ever
my
do it.
Fear.
Well, that's what's such a bummer is like they were willing in like 2012 to turn Cena heel. The gear was made. The new entrance music was and the ideas are great. Cena's talked about it. Where it's like Fear My Name was going to be the thing, and he was going to just change everything that was part of the character. He was going to come out in boxing robes. He wasn't going to do the Make-A-Wish stuff. He actually wore the gear on like an episode of Total Bellas once when he came out in like a weird lucha mask, and it says Fear My Name on it, and it's like, oh man, that would have been so fucking cool, and he would have killed it. I would like to see them do it with Cody before it's too late. And I understand the reasons why they wouldn't. There's major merch stuff involved. There's major, like Make-A-Wish stuff. He's an incredible ambassador for the company. So it's all the reasons they didn't do it with Cena. But goddamn if it wouldn't make intriguing television.
We'll talk about Cody's future after we discuss the men's Royal Rumble. But overall, thoughts on Cody versus KO?
Great match.
Yeah,
brutal.
an owie match. Lots of owies happening in that one.
Yeah,
That's the one where I was busy, and then I couldn't actually look away at a certain point because it was like I can't miss this next thing that looks so painful.
God, I love a good Alabama slam.
It's so fucking good.
It's a good move.
It's a good move.
Yeah, plus it's fun because like I remember watching when like Cody was brand spanking new, and they put him with Hardcore Holly, and that's why he was doing that move. And it's so funny to see him pull that one out every once in a while, especially to win this match. It's fun.
How do we feel about like that weird carabiner hook for the titles?
I think they just pull that out for the two titles? The tag team things. Like I think on a standard ladder match they don't do that thing, but you got to hold two up there somehow.
You know me, Jane. You know I love a carabiner whenever I see one. So
I like saying it.
Yeah,
so excuse. Yeah, carabiner.
All right, moving on to the main event, the men's Royal Rumble, with main event Jey Uso winning the whole dang thing. Couple quick stats: the Iron Man for this Rumble was actually Penta at 42 minutes and 5 seconds. Most eliminations, we have a three-way tie with Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, and Jacob Fatu at 4 eliminations each.
How many did Roman have? Because we split that 4 ways for our thing.
According to my stats here, it says 4.
Yeah, but Roman had 4?
Yeah.
Oh, we had 4 people with 4 eliminations. So
3
we
people with 4.
Oh, we had Roman, Fatu, Braun, and someone else. Damn, maybe Jay or something. Weird. Okay, somebody got paid wrong then.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
IRS, get their IRS.
no.
They don't got it anymore. Never mind.
Jeez.
And we had a couple of some superstars' first rumbles. Apparently, LA Knight's first rumble. Joe Hendry's.
That's confusing.
Yeah,
How is
that
it
is.
LA Knight's first rumble?
He was like there when they invented wrestling. So
I guess he just has been off cycle the whole time. But I feel like there was that one year where he fought Roman in Saudi Arabia.
He
But that
did.
feels like he would have been in the rumble after that.
So the Rumble 2023, which might have been that year, if you remember, he had the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match against the Fiend.
how can I forget?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, Jeff likes
I
that
couldn't
match.
I love
see
that
that
match.
one.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Come
I
on.
was there in all the glow sticks. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was,
oh,
yeah.
You're so lucky.
I know. I saw history.
This was also Penta's first rumble, Jacob Fatu's first rumble, and I Show Speed's first rumble.
Oh,
Got it.
God.
Dude, let's fuck that guy to the moon and back.
I show speed.
Incredible work. Yeah.
I don't know anything about the guy. I just
Incredible
know he
fucking
took
work.
the gnarliest spear
the
I've
gnarliest
ever
spear
fucking seen.
like ever. There is something about a person like who has that body type taking a spear from a person who has Braun Breaker's body type. It looked like he died.
So I've seen people go, "Oh man, he sold the shit out of that." No,
No,
he
he
didn't.
didn't. He
I
got
could have
hit.
sold that just as good because it's someone running into you like a train.
It makes me wish so badly that Drew Carey actually took a big bump when he was in the Rumble like that. It would have been so good.
I mean, Drew Carey's the I Show Speed of his time, right?
Yeah, many people are saying, yeah.
1,000,000%.
do. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we said Penta lasted the longest in the Rumble. Technically, if we all really, close our eyes and clap our hands and believe that his feet didn't touch the floor there that one time.
I think I saw that it might I think I saw something frame by frame and it actually didn't. It was just extremely close.
Really
Look who's
close.
still under the WWE
That's
payroll.
Damn it.
I think starting the match with him and Ray was freaking great.
Yes.
I thought it was awesome. I just want them to go for an hour. Just give me a 60-minute match with those two. I know Ray can't do it anymore because he's 60 years old, but give me 60 minutes with those two.
His knees
I
are
think that
like
would go
12
crazy.
years old though.
Yeah,
so.
just give him
Yeah,
more
that's
stem
true.
cells,
Yeah,
more
just-
baby
Yeah,
juice.
load him up.
Right.
The thing that it made me think though was for Ray's last match, which I have to assume is kind of coming soon.
Right.
Is it him versus Penta, or is it Lucha Bros versus him and Dom? And
I
then
think
Dom
it's-
betrays him at the end, and then somehow does another heel turn. I just think that there's space. I think there's space
He can go
for.
deeper.
I do think he can go deeper. I think there is space for them to have a really long storyline because it seems like he's falling out with the Judgment Day right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think they're over the Judgment Day, which is fair because it's been going on for too long. I think there is space in this world for Dom to go back to his dad, join the Latino World Order, make good, and then you sit on that for like 6 to 8 months, right? And then it's like Ray's retiring. You wait for Ray Phoenix to join. You do Lucha Bros versus Dom and Rey Mysterio, and then at the end of the fucking match, Dom just hits his dad in the dick and then rolls out of the ring.
Yeah. That's
And I
Yes.
just think that's
Yeah.
I think
want
that's good.
this. Yeah.
I think that happens. I think that's Ray's second to last match. Then you get Ray versus Dom.
Ray
as the
versus
actual
Dom.
when
last
Dom
time.
wins, I've heard people
Yeah.
be like, "Oh," and then he inherits the mask or whatever. But like, no,
No.
Dom's got such a look.
Dom, no,
and,
he has so
you know,
much
like,
other stuff going on.
Yeah, he doesn't. Or you know what? Yeah, win the mask and then just like shit on it. Or, like,
Yeah.
throw it in a barrel fire. You know?
Yeah.
like John Cena at the ECW
Oh,
or whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of Drew Carey, give it a Cleveland Steamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom should finish the match by doing a father-son Kamehameha frog splash onto Ray,
Yes.
but with the ghost of Eddie Guerrero.
They could use one of those CGI, the ones that the AR wrestlers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Finally, a good use for that technology.
I enjoyed this Rumble. Any standout spots, moments for y'all?
I love that they clearly know what they have with a potential Braun versus Fatu match, because there have been 2 times now. There was one where at ringside during a Raw or something where they got face to face, and just the guys looking at each other, people were chanting "Holy shit!" And this one, like Fatu would just knock someone out. Fatu was doing crazy shit at the camera, and then like Braun rose in the background, like blurry out of focus, and you see Braun just steaming, just like and it's like, oh fuck, they're gonna go, and then they didn't. So they're like really teasing Braun versus Fatu because they know that is going to be the most wrestling ass, just 2 dudes beating the shit out of each other match, and I want it so bad.
We talked about it earlier, but I like this match a lot. It also is an incredible showpiece of how bad WWE entrance music has gotten.
Dude,
kind of like
awful.
Punctuated when Finn Balor came out to some
I had no idea.
crap, and
No idea.
the whole building was like quiet. It was like first it was like, who is this? Oh, and they cared more about the bad song, it seems like, than him coming out. It was terrible.
And I also think, like Grub, you were saying, it just puts in relief because you have so many old people, and then you had Joe Hendry, who has good entrance music, and then you have Cena, obviously, who has good entrance music, and then Punk, who has good entrance music, and which is obviously like Punk's is a real shoot song, but it's like, I guess so is Cena's. But if you put them back to back like that, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It doesn't have to be. Do you know how easy it is to get good music now? It's like that's actually not hard.
And that's the thing is like about like what I was reading today, and then when this is why it was in my head, is like a lot of the stars really hate how they're all being forced to use this. What is it?
Def Rebel.
Def Rebel.
Leppy.
But he's not
Def
there
Leppy,
anymore, right? Did they get rid of him?
I had heard that they were going to get rid of them, or I think it's like 2 or 3 dudes, and they have not, I guess.
Get Joe Johnson back. What's he doing?
And it's like apparently very hard to not use him if you are like someone who like doesn't like the music that they're providing. So like, but some have enough cachet to like push back and get their own music, and that you could tell who that is when they come in because it's actually something worth listening to.
AJ got his back. Sheamus is mad that he doesn't have his back.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of
it's a mess.
Sheamus, when Sheamus was just in the corner watching Joe Hendry's entrance, and then he was like, it felt there were a couple of moments where it felt like Sheamus was the only person who was like intentionally mic'd, because there was a bit where he was hanging out and he was like, wow, this is great. And then I guess was it Fatu who hit him first? Who hit Joe Hendry first? Because then Sheamus went over and was like, why would you do that? I was having a good time. I was enjoying myself.
According to chat, it was Braun that did that.
Braun.
Braun would do that.
There were a couple times Fatu did something, like eliminated someone and then did this little celebration move and just watching it, I realized if I tried to do that, I would pull like 4 muscles. Just that weird, like, I don't know how to do it, but it's awesome. Seriously, Fatu and Braun are my 2 guys right now, as far as like anytime they're on screen, I'm just like, all right, put down the analog pocket and I'm just watching this, you know?
When Braun Strowman was coming to the ring and he just made like eye contact with Fatu. It's like, you fucker, you thought you were gonna kill me? I'm back. And then Fatu has it, and I would all the way has it. I don't know how you're gonna be able to bring back Solo and have him be taken seriously as another member of the bloodline.
Fatu has the look. He's incredible in ring. He's a killer promo. He's one of those guys that, like, when I watch them do a promo, I don't see someone playing wrestler. I see just that's that person. Like Moxley has that, where it's like that guy just seems like a dangerous dude, you know. Like, and Fatu absolutely has that.
I think. Go ahead, Chef. No, I insist.
Okay. I really like Kaiser's entrance and getting eliminated. I thought it's a good one of those. I always want one of those. Like, come in, be your asshole self, really peacock in there, and then get thrown out quickly. And he's like very good at that.
Yes. I texted Dan like 15 minutes prior. I was like, why does nobody just not go in?
Yeah.
And then he didn't go in, and I was like,
yeah. Also, no wrestler in history, despite them trying it so many times, has looked more like a Punch-Out character than Ludwig Kaiser. You know?
Even the name.
Von Kaiser basically already.
He's a Punch-Out character come to life.
Yep, I love it.
Like, you know, Cena's whole like entrance and being in the Rumble in general, but especially that entrance, you know, he's putting on emotions there, and I'm feeling it. I'm like, yeah, this seems important. This is probably, and I say it's the last time we'll see John Cena at Rumble. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Like, come back for a fun.
Let me tell you about
nostalgia spot sometime.
2033.
Right. It's certainly the last time he ever will have a chance of winning a Royal Rumble, right? It's still, somebody, again, I watched a lot of that John Cena era of WWE. It did kind of feel nostalgic and bittersweet.
Yeah. And ultimately, it was John Cena, one of the last two men losing against Jey Uso.
Very
Genuine surprise. He would have been
Yeah.
my 10th pick to win, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just, it's the thing with wrestling and online wrestling is like, I'm always surprised because like there's so many times I watch a show or a match and I'm like, man, I really like that. And then I look and it's like, oh, everyone on the internet hated that. And it's like, I don't know.
Like, if people who actually review wrestling matches, I think all thought it was good. You're seeing a lot of people who apparently, I didn't realize there was such an anti-Jey Uso kind of component of hardcore wrestling fans. And it's people who are mad Jey Uso won.
There's also like a huge anti-Rhea thing. It's, what the fuck are you talking? Why is the internet hate Rhea Ripley? What are you talking about? Oh yeah,
it's because she's too popular now. Is that it?
I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
But like Jay, it's like you look at the crowd with. Yeah, I mean, how many kids with Yeet shirts and the sunglasses and like an obvious connection with the crowd. And like I understand the complaints about like, look, I don't have a big list of favorite Jey Uso matches, and I think like him versus his brother last year was like the biggest down point of the whole card. Yeah. But it's harder. There are a lot of people that can do really fucking good wrestling matches now, more than ever at any point in wrestling. The thing you can't teach and the thing that everyone struggles to find is that connection with the crowd, and you cannot deny that with Jey Uso. And so I do not mind. I don't know if like him versus Gunther is going to be the match of the night or anything like that, but I understand why they would go with this.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
You can get Cena versus Cody other ways, like at the Elimination Chamber. Anyways, here. This is going to be something that Jay can sort of, feather in his cap for a while here. Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where I wouldn't have predicted it, but once it happened, it made complete sense to me. Like, yeah, absolutely. Give him this moment. Give him this spot. See what happens.
I'm legitimately shocked. I think I was just shocked because I really was like, oh, it's Punk. I really, in my brain, was like, oh, it's Punk, Cody. Punk's going to win Rumble. Cody is, and then Cena is gonna win Elimination Chamber, and that's it. That's where I really. So when Jay won, I was like, oh, I don't know what the who fucking knows? I don't know. That's not my job. I watch the TV.
Yeah. I don't write the TV.
Yeah, no, I don't write the TV. I watch the TV. That's not my fucking job. So
I was Rey Mysterio's last match.
Yeah, no, that's different. That's different. Triple H.
Yeah. Call him Paul. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
Call me.
But the actual final elimination was very good. That's sometimes a hard spot to get to look good, but the whole, trying to do the attitude adjustment on the apron and slipping out of it and just sort of pushing Cena off. Yep. And it wasn't like some flashy thing. He just literally jumped to the floor there, and the look on his face like, oh shit, I just lost. That was great.
That was good.
I think one of the killer spots tonight was that double stomp on the outside.
Oh my God.
Do you know how much trust you have to have in a performer? Like, obviously, everyone knows Seth Rollins is like one of one in terms of like the last 10 years of wrestlers.
Yeah.
And Roman knows him well. Just be like, yeah, all right, just jump on my fucking head on the outside of the ring with both of your feet and make it look like you stomp my head into the ground enough to like make it so I don't have to go to Elimination Chamber. And Seth's like, yeah, I can do that. And he did it. And it looked incredible.
It looked
fucking incredible.
It looked awesome. Jeez. That was where I'm like, no, that was too hard. He hurt that man. Yeah, you legit hurt that. It looked so good.
Seth is
I'm gonna watch it again right now.
Yeah,
for as much of a career Seth Rollins has had, and as much money as Seth Rollins has had, he's got a great fucking life. But I do still think he is underappreciated.
Yep,
like that guy can do it all. Everyone loves working with him. Dude, he's one of the best.
That's
ever,
crazy.
For sure.
You shouldn't be allowed to jump on a guy's head like that.
Yeah, because they just should have banned that move for a while, because that was like even they were like, oh, we're worried about kids trying this.
Yeah, it was called curb stomp too, which has some history and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
how did he even do it?
Yeah. They're just good at their jobs, and that's
good
crazy.
Stuff. What's that like? Okay,
I don't know.
So he jumps up with the left foot, and then he puts the foot on his neck, and then. Yeah, but there is a frame where both of his feet are on this fucker's head.
Yeah. And somehow that man's
What do
head
you
did not get exploded. Yeah.
Well, I mean, luckily it was Roman Reigns' head, and as
That's
we all
true.
know, a
Yeah.
Samoan's head is
Yeah,
stronger
that's
than
true.
anything.
That's true.
And that's how
Yeah.
Gallagher died. He tried to hit his head when the hammer exploded in his hands. Yeah.
Seth has done so much of that shit. I still think I've seen so much live wrestling. I've been to every Mania since 30. The one moment live that I have marked out the hardest for was that WrestleMania in San Jose, where he went to go stomp Randy, and he
God.
launched him into the air in RKO.
God.
Oh
That
yeah,
is-
sure. God.
That's the
Imagine-
coolest thing anybody's ever done.
Having to do that for a movie and a soundstage with as many takes as you want would be insane. Doing
Yeah,
it
so
at
good.
WrestleMania live, you have one shot, and to have it look that fucking good. I jumped out of my fucking. I was just like, like I just screamed and jumped up. I just could not believe I saw it. Fuck, that was cool.
That's fucking crazy. I'm gonna watch that right now too.
Yeah, it's the best RKO ever by far, I think. Fuck, that was cool.
Any other spots, impressive
Well,
moments?
it's the time of the podcast where Dan always gives out his "That's Cinema to Me" award. Dan, what was
Shut
your
up.
cinema
No,
moment of the night?
Fuck you. Go fuck you. I hate that shit so much. I think people unironically do it, or I think they ironically do it with Tony Storm now, which I'm more okay with them doing ironically than acting like Bloodline is Scorsese. But to be fair, I do see a lot of people saying it with Tony Storm as Mariah May this week, which that was a very good segment. Yes.
That's very good. Very good.
You know what's crazy?
Yo.
Seth Rollins is like 15 feet in the fucking air. In this.
Yeah.
That launched off not a Mario World trampoline. He launched off of a
Of
man's
a human
trapped
man,
neck.
a human man. He's so high in the air,
I mean, if
and then
if-
Randy's like, "I can't believe that just fucking happened for so
when he gets
long."
and Randy's as hyped as anyone. He's like, I fucking did that. I did that. Yeah. Like, yeah, you should celebrate that shit. Because, yeah, think about it. You have to launch him up with your neck string and then in a split second timing, look up, figure out where this man is, grab his head, and safely drive it into the mat. Both of those fucking dudes. Holy shit.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't wait for when Randy eventually retires and we see him get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then we just play that clip again.
He should be the first wrestler to do his finishing move during his Hall of Fame speech.
God, that would be good.
Right? One
I
last
think he
time.
can do it to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
be great.
yeah, he could.
Always Be Clothing says, he brings up that beforehand they went to Cesaro to be like, do you think this is possible? And Cesaro's like, yeah, probably.
Wrestling's own MythBuster. Is this possible? Okay, so that was the Rumble.
Wait, who
now
wants to talk about Logan Paul?
oh, God.
Who?
Number 30 entrant, Logan Paul.
Knocking
What a
out
way
CM
that
Punk.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Well, yeah.
That it was like such a weird moment because that's right around when they were doing like, oh, here's the standoff of all of these legends,
Which was
all of these
crazy. That back to
titans.
back. That
Yeah.
back to back to back was fucking nuts.
Punk,
and that
Cena,
was
Roman, all looking at
Yes.
each other. Yeah.
And it
EJ
was
on the
like-
floor.
Yeah.
And Logan.
and then Logan Paul was also there.
Did you see the mic? I saw a thing today where Punk said like, "Oh, to Cena and Reigns, like, which one of you pretty boys wants to get it
Yeah.
first?" And Cena's like, "I'm so pretty. I'm so
I
pretty."
love that. Yeah, what a funny fucker.
how can people not like Cena?
I
So
know.
good.
Come
yeah.
on.
Yeah. It's so effortless too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think for so long with Punk, like one of his bitter kind of grapes was like, oh, I didn't get the main event WrestleMania, and they kind of use it as a storyline now. Do you think that's something he still cares about and it's going to happen eventually?
That's
Or
what
do
the
you think
money's for.
You think he's
Yeah.
just moved past it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't say no, and I'm sure he'd like it, but I think, yeah, in 2011, he was actually pissed off that Dwayne is in the main event and not him. But now it's like he's getting paid very, very well, and I think he's quite happy with the situation.
And I have to work quite as hard for it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's on good behavior. I think he's happy with the money. Yes.
No, good.
Yes.
Yeah, on this very podcast, we talked about how much we had soured on Punk, and the Punk now in WWE.
fuck?
Oh, look at that donut.
Hey, she went to
yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts, got me a Valentine's donut. Fuck all y'all.
What's it?
Oh.
You can't just have a wife.
Yeah, it works. Hey, I
It's
know
awesome.
it's cheating. It's not.
That's
It's actually
crazy.
literally the opposite of
This is-
cheating.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
It's commitment.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got this, and I got bad Rainforest Cafe jokes. Damn.
Mike,
Go back to
again.
cranking it, Rainforest. Try getting a wife.
Rainforest Cafe, no.
God, I forgot what we're talking about.
Logan Paul. No,
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
even
Punk,
throughout
yes.
all of that, with like and I think I said it on here before. I'm like, I can't help myself. I still kind of like CM Punk. I always have. I always thought that there was just something interesting there and fun there and magnetic there.
He is an interesting performer. Obviously, we've covered asshole guy, seems to be on good behavior, great fucking performer, all-timer performer. And once he turns heel, I guarantee we're going to do one of these podcasts and we're all going to be super fucking into it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that got me into wrestling this most recent time. So I have a soft spot in my heart for him. But also, I don't want to ever hear him talk or think, and I just want to see him on the TV.
I want to see CM Punk. I don't want to see Phil.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, out of like, the two people in that AEW CM Punk divorce, I think CM Punk's definitely doing better.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Oh yeah.
They're in buildings with 8 people in them now.
It's rough.
What happened?
A
Well,
lot,
so
first
much
of all,
of-
this
I mean-
Death
Go ahead,
Rider
go ahead,
story has not been. I mean, it's been going on for
Fucking
months now
yarn.
with absolute like. I mean, the thing is that they used to do actual long-term storytelling before WWE proved they could do it with Bloodline stuff. You know, like they were doing like the long Hangman Kenny stories and stuff like that, and having payoffs and having it work. And so they earned a lot of audience goodwill. And then you do something like this that takes over the whole show, every show with the Death Rider stuff. And they were teasing like this is all going somewhere. This is just the beginning. And it's like, okay, it's been months now. What's the okay? You got the title. Where are we going with this? And it's like they don't have that faith anymore from the audience.
Yeah.
for good reason.
Right.
Yeah. The
And
only thing that I'm tuning into week to week is just to see what kooky stuff that Tony Storm is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's
The
great. I mean,
guns are back, though.
Yeah. There are bright spots for sure. I watch every week, and but man, it's like I don't know, Max Caster. There's just a bunch of acts and stuff where I'm like, well, I don't care about this.
So much of the what helped AEW so much, especially early on, is the fact that WWE was bad, right?
Yeah.
Like the counter programming aspect of it was huge, and like ever since WWE got pretty good again, it's been a harder proposition. Like
I mean, it just highlights the problems, right? The writing. I mean, it's just bad writing.
Yeah, exactly. They have tons of talented wrestlers there, of course, but yeah, just something feels off over there, and it's just going to be interesting to see if it's a slump and there is a rebound, or if they're kind of like, I hope not. And I don't really think they're circling the drain, right?
Yeah,
No,
I think the wrestling in AEW is really fun right now.
Yes.
But then the sports entertainment part of it is not good.
Except for Harley Cameron.
Oh,
Harley
sure.
Cameron's good.
She's been fun. Yeah.
Harley Cameron,
That's
good,
good.
a legitimately good ventriloquist.
That Mercedes spot is like, oh my god, she's actually a ventriloquist too. Like that's crazy. Yeah. No, she's
Yeah.
genuinely very funny.
Maybe Tony Khan will have to go work as the GM of the Jaguars, and he'll be too busy. And so
hire somebody?
hire a new writer. Yeah.
Remember
should
when
I go
the
to-
Young Bucks were supposed to take over the show and the new Elite with them and Jack Perry and Okada? Where the fuck did that go?
Okay.
Like,
Maybe I got busy at their target.
So what is Okada doing? The best wrestler in the world? Because it feels like not enough.
Sleeping. He's
They have
sleeping.
feuding-
several best wrestlers in the world.
yeah, they do. They just did a thing where somebody called him bitch and he got upset. He's like, I'm not a bitch on Dynamite. I forget who it was.
Compelling.
Oh, Buddy Murphy. Yeah, Buddy Murphy. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean, you got Osprey. Yeah, you got
Osprey's
Okada.
so
like,
good.
like the wrestler. And Swerve's awesome. Swerve's got everything.
Dude, yeah.
Right.
The Swerve Ricochet stuff is legitimately fun.
Right. I don't mean to be like that down. And like obviously Dan and I were at All In last year. Thank you. We were at All In last year. It was just incredible. One of the best shows I've ever been to, and they're always capable of that. And the big pay-per-views I still care about.
Oh yeah,
but,
they're good still. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're asking me to care about Collision right now. It just is. It's a tall order.
It's hard to, as much as like MJF was a bright spot for a while. I don't know if it's just oversaturation or if he's just been the same character for too long, but like kind of don't
Yeah.
love MJF segments these days.
He does feel like he's spinning his wheels. It's so nuts that he was so. It feels what it feels like. AEW feels like to me, and I don't mean to like dunk on it because like I do when I do tune in, I'm like, oh, I'm having a pretty good time watching the wrestling.
Yeah.
That I'm watching on the TV. It feels like they were deeply overperforming for a really long time with like B and C tier talent, and they were punching so far above their weight. And then over the course of the last like 18 months, they have regressed to the mean, and then the mean is B and C tier talent. So then it's like, oh shit, actually it's not great. So it just feels like there's a lot of extra stuff around the, like, there are some highlights like MJF and Hangman seems like it's going to be good, but then they also wasted a bunch of MJF's time like 2 weeks ago with Jeff Jarrett. And it's like, why are
for
we
a few weeks? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, what are we doing that for? Like why are we spinning our wheels like this?
I don't need Cope, taking it like,
Oh God.
he's had a great career. I don't find anything interesting about his current situation.
Yeah. Christian though is another bright spot.
He's
for
good, yeah.
AEW.
Christian's
Yeah.
good. And so is the child. What's his name?
Nick Wayne.
He's great.
Yep.
I hate
Yeah,
that
I
guy.
Grogu.
The baby. Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu.
Grogu.
Somehow we're still getting a lot of Chris Jericho.
Dude.
Yeah.
He's on the boat now, so maybe he'll get lost out there.
Well, there's a lot of the roster out there too.
All right.
Compelling storyline, though. We did
Yeah,
that.
we got lost on the boat.
Tune in.
no.
Oh,
Bermuda Triangle took the Jericho cruise. I would tune in to see how they dealt with that on the show.
Gilligan's Island situation with the Jericho Cruise.
Okay, that'd be funny actually.
That would fucking bang.
Friends, we're on the road to WrestleMania. What do we think is going to be on the card? We've talked that it's probably going to be Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Yep.
Yes.
Cena versus Cody.
Yeah.
Punk,
Yeah.
Rollins, Reigns, triple threat.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems
who
good.
wins that?
We do,
Roman.
Mike.
Maybe
Roman-
Punk.
Yeah.
I think
I
Never
think
Rollins.
Punk-
He's always the bridesmaid.
No,
Yeah.
I think Punk wins so he can win at Mania. I
Well-
think it would be
Well,
Yeah, I
the
don't
favor, the Heyman favor, what if that's the heel turn? Is Heyman helps Punk win,
yeah.
and then we get Heyman and Punk heel? Like, I think that could be fun.
That could be interesting.
So
Move that along a bit.
the stupid internet booking I saw is that the favor he's gonna cash in with Heyman is for Jay to give up his Mania spot, but that wouldn't work.
Oh.
No, that's just the Jay haters once again,
Yeah.
probably trying to work themselves into a shoot or something.
Charlotte, Tiffany.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
does
that'd be
Rhea
awesome.
go up against?
Mm-hmm.
Have they
So that's
teased her
good.
and Bianca?
They've teased her lightly with EO, right? And like that would be a great match, totally. The Elimination Chamber's coming up.
Too early for Jordan.
Too early for Jordan. A returning Alexa Bliss, maybe.
That's not a Mania match.
But given that reception, though,
Just the match itself, though. Also, it's
Yeah.
like you have to suspend a lot of disbelief in wrestling, but just the idea of Alexa Bliss against Rhea Ripley and Rhea Ripley not just doing a Mortal Kombat fatality to her is like,
well, just to see that then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for Rhea, I'm not sure because I don't really want to see another Liv Morgan match.
No,
what about Becky?
Liv Morgan deserves to be able to just do something else on her own away from that. 'Cause
Yeah.
She's established herself. Yeah, she doesn't have to constantly be fighting for the belt to be interesting.
Yeah, very true. I don't know what Jade is supposedly injured, right?
She's hurt, right?
There's
Yes.
a bunch of
Yeah,
scuttlebutt about what's going on with her. Yeah. We'll see when she's back.
so we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I am still very, very excited about Mania season.
Oh, always.
Always, yeah.
It's a fever.
Yeah, we're on the
It's a
fast
fever.
lane.
Over.
Glad we don't have Fastlane anymore. Remember, there was one year we had Fastlane and Roadblock, and it's like we don't need more transportation-related pay-per-views leading to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. It was a fast
more.
lane. Now there's a roadblock. You're gonna have to
God,
wait.
I hated that.
Speed trap.
DUI checkpoint.
Well, there's some wrestlers that should not go past that then.
Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I definitely hope that Dan and I, and maybe more people, are able to go to Mania this year to cover it.
I want to go. Take me.
I'm already sending emails trying to figure out my road to WrestleMania.
And
Always
maybe
got to my
I,
destination every year in the past. Maybe this year.
Come on. I want to be the Fozzie to your Kermit. Some people got this. Probably
Trust
not
me, if
Dan.
I'm able to, I'm bringing all of you. But
Yay.
There
we'll
we go.
see.
Oh, just again, like in the Muppet movie. Great.
Just like in the Muppet movie, yeah. Dude, have there been any Muppets in WWE?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, have you not
that's
seen
what
the
they
Raw where the
hosted.
Muppets hosted and
It was
Sheamus?
great.
Sheamus is
What?
canonically cousins with Beaker and
Beaker?
goes to family reunions. Jack
Man, wrestling's
Swagger
really
and
good.
Dolph.
Wrestling rules.
I literally watched this episode like a month ago because they covered it on Deadlock. Jack Swagger feuds with Muppets, and him and Dolph Ziggler pull out Gonzo's arms and like strangle Gonzo with his own arms.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
God, it was so good, man. The Muppets make everything better.
Make everything better.
It's true. It's
Yeah, I think
very
Waldorf
wonderful.
and Statler are in there. I think they're making fun of Cena or something. Yeah.
What?
Shut up.
Jan, question.
Yes.
How realistic is it for us to get a Muppet involved in the show? I don't mean we make a Muppet. I
this
mean,
show?
Shoot Muppet.
I mean from the Muppet Company.
You're the Disney guy. Make it happen, Mike.
Yeah, get Drake on the phone. We need the Muppets.
All right.
Listen,
He's going to
Keely
be
makes it
really
happen
upset.
every year.
He's going to be upset and wonder why I have his phone number, but I'll call Drake then for the money.
All right. Here we go.
Thank you.
Look, if we do the pre-show for the Game Awards again, we should just
Okay,
host it
yes,
with Muppets.
yes.
That's
Which
easy.
Muppet will
I
we
do
want?
think we could.
They're in town.
I want
Yeah.
Gonzo.
Yeah.
Gonzo's my hero.
Oh, Gonzo's, that's a hard ask.
I
That's
like
like the one
Grover.
original guy still doing it, right? They're not going to give us Gonzo.
Okay, then I'll
We're
take
better. We have a better shot
Pepe,
getting
whatever his name
Kermit.
is.
I like Grover.
Grover's
Yeah,
great.
can we get Grover?
We get
Yeah.
Sweetums.
He's not working right now.
Grover's
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
guys. Grover is Sesame Street. That's a different company. These days.
Yeah,
Well, he's not-
but
he's
it's still
not
it
fucking
is
working.
a Muppet, though.
It's not what I mean. I don't look.
Okay,
I'll be
listen.
happy. I'll like it.
Sweetums is a good one because he just lost his job because they closed down Muppet Vision 3D. So we could
Sure.
probably
Yeah,
get
not
him.
yet. There's a couple months. I get to do it one more time before they close it, and I cry.
All right, shit.
Okay, we
what's
can't
the-
in the chat. Sorry, 1 second. Grover is a Muppet, but he is not part of the Muppets.
Yes, he's a Muppet, but he's not
Yes.
He's not
owned
a
by the.
Muppet.
He's not owned by.
He's a
Disney.
They said
lowercase m
Grover, it was not a
Muppet.
crazy thing.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
I still take offense to that one time many moons ago that someone said I was the Scooter of the crew. Shut the fuck up. I am not the Scooter of this team.
That's yeah.
Your uncle owns the theater.
No, just because like he runs around with glasses and a clipboard. Anyway,
Who's Statler and Waldorf?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Who's Statler and Waldorf? Definitely
You jerked
Bachelors.
off
I think
in the
Bachelors
Bachelor.
both of them.
Yeah.
I think he's both of them.
Back
Yeah.
ours both.
Yeah.
Of course, both of them. They did a fusion dance. He came back alive.
it could be Backlar and Tam.
I like Bachelor being
yeah,
both.
that is-
Yeah, Tam was being kind of funny, Daddy, on Game
was
Ass
being
Morning. It's
funny.
like, why does the Switch 2 have a mouse? I don't like Labo.
Oh, look, we don't
All
have to
right.
pretend to like Labo.
Okay, fair.
Look, I've got a couple, but I don't like them.
All right,
That's
friends.
fair.
That about does it for wrestling talk. Unless y'all have any other stuff you want to get off your chest.
Fun. It's fun to watch wrestling. I like
Fun
it.
to watch
The
wrestling.
Rumble is always like the show I look the most forward to every year,
Same.
right? There have been some years where I don't catch like WrestleMania live and I don't feel too bad about it. I'll watch it later. But like this year, I couldn't watch the Rumble live. I had plans, so it was a bummer. But still, I got home at like 2 a.m. and still was like, well, time to start this shit up because I don't want anything to be spoiled. And still had a great time.
You did see some wrestling related things at that beer festival, though.
Remind me, I drank copious amounts of alcohol.
Real American beer was
Real
there.
American beer was there. Yeah, that shit's bad. It's just worse PBR. Don't drink
That's
it,
crazy.
everybody.
I
Can
don't
you
wanna drink that.
imagine spending all of the money that it actually does cost to start a beer brand, and then what you like? You've spent all this time, energy, and effort. You open the fucking spigot, you pour a glass out, and it tastes worse than PBR.
He probably sells that shit to Budweiser in 2 years for probably close to $1 billion.
It's so bizarre they were there because this was like a very local thing. Everything else was, very local breweries. And then there's just this table of real American beer. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Has that been
here?
successful? I hope not.
It doesn't matter. Like celebrity
Nothing
alcohol brands
matters.
all
It's a-
get sold for like $4 billion
Right.
after a couple of years.
Is
That's
it more or less
why-
successful than Woo Energy?
Oh, fuck.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh, low bar, huh?
How are they the two that are alive from that era?
Yeah.
Hate doesn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
He took
buy.
Roddy Piper from us in
Oh,
horse
and
shit.
Dusty Rhodes.
Yep.
Fuck,
Yeah.
God damn
And
it.
the Ultimate Warrior.
Well, all right. I'm playing the music.
Jesus Christ.
The views and favorite wrestlers of Jeff Grubb do not reflect that of the podcast.
God, I loved Ultimate Warrior as a kid. Jesus.
Okay, it's fine,
God.
but now
That's predictable.
oh God, he dead.